Curtis, really happy to have a local kid coming home here, being 27 years old, and I think he's settled in as a good, versatile bottom six guy. Great character, great PK, right shot. So really improved our bottom six there.
How about Mikheyev and the speed and tenacity he brings?
Yeah, we talked about obviously to add some speed and preferably some size too, and McCabe, we had McCabe on our list, and when we got in there this morning and we talked, and he was still available there, and we took our best shot there, and we're really excited to add him here to our hopefully our mid-six, top six group there. A guy who can really good PK and good on the power play, hopefully too here.
He was looking for a trade, Patrik, and then the team said, listen, we'll entertain if somebody wants to talk to you early before free agency, we'll allow that. Did you reach out to his representatives before today?
We didn't. I didn't. To be honest, too, I wasn't sure if he was looking at Vancouver as an option. But when we started talking and what we want to do and the option we had for him here, it was a really good fit. So we're really excited that we were able to get him here.
Do you know him from another movie? I mean, you have a scouting background.
Yeah, well, I think our scouts, our pro guys, have obviously tracking the potential UFAs this year, and he was definitely on the top of the pro guys list. So we're really excited to add Ilya here, and he was super excited to come into Vancouver. So.
How important is it to have, or is it important to kind of have that Russian contingent at all, to have that relationship?
A little bit, I think, especially when you have a guy like Kuzmenko coming in here to the league as a rookie. I think it definitely helped him to be a little bit familiar with those other Podkolzin and Mikheyev that been in the league for a couple of years.
Patrik, how much more work do you have left to do? You talked about what you want to accomplish. You don't have any room in the cap anymore. I think you'd probably like to improve your defense. Is the heavy lifting still to come?
I think we talk about it as a group here, and we realized that there wasn't really anything on the market for us today to get into. So probably will be over time. Maybe look into different option trade scenarios. But again, I didn't feel that we needed to rush into something here and then take other options away from us here, leading up to training camp.
Patrik, I know there was a thought at one point that getting up in that 4.75, close to $5 million range might not be something you guys were necessarily willing to do at this point. What is it that convinced you that it might be worth taking that leap and making that kind of an investment over a 4-year stretch here?
Yeah, we think obviously, we did Ilya skating. With his speed, I don't think it's going to drop down much over 4 years here. And what he brings, and as I said, the tenacity, speed, size, versatility. I believe that he's going to help us here for the next 4 years. Being good, one of the better PK guys in the league as well, and hopefully get a chance here to play in a more offensive role as well.
Yeah, I mean, at that number, you're expecting him to produce the way he did last year, which was a significant career high for him as far as goals. Do you believe he's got more offense to give, or are you concerned he might regress to the mean somewhere in between what he did last year and before that?
Obviously, it's always a risk, but the way he plays and how competitive he is and his speed, I think, it's hard to pick a number, but definitely, I think is capable of scoring, up to around 20 goals, 15 to 20 goals. But what he brings more is, open up lanes for our other skilled players, and that's the intriguing part with him.
Lazar was saying that he feels he has more offensive upside as well. Do you feel like that's a possibility for him, or do you see him more in that kind of depth grinder role?
You know what? I think we need obviously depth scoring to be a good team. We need 4 lines to contribute, and I think with adding Curtis and Dakota here, it makes us harder to play against, and hopefully they will grind other teams down and give our coaches more flexibility how they want to do the matchups.
How does Dakota project? I mean, he's big, he's abrasive. He played 30 games for Berube in St. Louis, which means you have to play a certain way. How does he project?
Yeah, I think this was something that goes back to when he attended Utica there a couple of games, and Ryan Johnson and Trent Cull, were really impressed with him back then. And when he came available here as well, there was one guy that we liked, and the projection of his bigger body, heavier to play against, good speed. I actually were able to catch him a couple games up in St. Louis this year, and they're a deep team, so we're really excited adding him to our bottom six group there.
How much better do you think the team is? With the guys you've added, you haven't had to give up any players. How much better do you think your forward group is?
Well, definitely, with the addition of Kuzmenko, Mikheyev, Dakota, and Curtis, it makes it more internal competition, gives the coaches more options, and definitely feel that we improved our group here.
Are you surprised at all that, given how little flexibility you had, that you were able to bring in a $5 million guy?
Yes and no. I think first it's going to be a fit for him and come in here and want to be part of what we want to accomplish, and he was excited when we started talking to him here, and he's back in Russia, but he was excited about the role and the opportunity and the players we have in place here.
Kuzmenko and Mikheyev share the same agent.
Yeah.
When you made the pitch for Kuzmenko, in some sense, do you think you made a pitch to the agent there that he was able to share with Mikheyev?
Well, probably. Just the vision we had and the plan we had and how we want to play, and not just this year, but moving forward. I think they were excited about it.
Patrik, how do you characterize the opening of free agency as a whole? There's obviously some big names that we still see on the board, and some other guys that we maybe didn't expect to move the way they did. How do you characterize this free agency period?
Yeah, it was obviously it's with almost a flat cap here over the next 2 years. It was a hard one. It was hard to predict, and now with 32 teams in the league too, you obviously need cap space in order to improve your team. So we're excited. We're happy that we're able to add those players here to our team.
You've mentioned the penalty kill a couple times. How important was that element, improving the penalty kill with Mikheyev and Lazar, and how much do you think it has improved for next year?
Yeah, I think we struggled a little bit early on here, or we struggled a lot early on before I got here, but it's definitely something. In order to be a good team, you need to be good in the special teams there. Our power players were really good, and with the addition of Curtis and Ilya and Dakota is killing penalties too. It gives the coaches more options.
A lot of talk again this morning about JT Miller. Where are you at with JT?
Well, I didn't get any calls today, so I don't know. I didn't talk with any teams today. He was the best player last year. I think Jim mentioned it. There's been teams, kicking tires, checking in. It hasn't gone much further than that. We're really excited to have JT here for another year. I believe he's excited and ready to come back. And hey, who knows? Anything can happen here over the next couple of weeks, months. But we're happy to have him back.
Given the contract.
Are you a guy that believes that a player has more leverage as the season goes on, and you lose leverage if you don't get something done before training camp?
I don't know about that. I think the players, regardless who it is, I think they want to perform. I think they're, they know that they want to make, they're professional. They want to perform. They want to have a team success in order for them to get the best option in contracts-wise moving forward.
Given the existing contract, is it fair to say there's no rush? There's no pressure on you, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. We're starting the season here with this team as of today, and we'll see here if anything comes up that makes sense for us, to take a look at if we improve our group by doing a trade or not. But otherwise, we're happy with this group we have.
Patrik,
You weren't there today, but impression so far of camp?
I've been really impressed. there is a lot of players there, so I give the coaching staff and the development staff a lot of credit for running the drills with a high pace and a lot of energy out there. But there's a lot of good, talented players.
What do you tell the kid, PD 2.0, about, he dings his knee on day one and now he's sitting watching?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously not a career threat or anything like that, but it's still kind of a bummer, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's always tough for the young kids when they get, they want to make a good first impression. But we'll see here tomorrow if he's coming back in the scrimmage or not. But I've been excited about all those guys.
Can I ask you about Linus Karlsson and just what he's shown you in the first 2 days, and also the opportunity he may get now?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, Linus is really excited to be here. You could tell it, like how he comes across out there, like very, very competitive. Like he wants to learn. His communication with the development staff and just the excitement. I think that's great to see in a young guy like him.
Skating's always been a thing for him. I mean, has he improved there, or where have you seen his biggest improvements in the last year?
I think skating has improved, and for some guys playing on the big ice versus the small ice, I think he will be better on the smaller ice surface, where he, the north-south game is more than the east-west over in Europe, and getting quicker to the scoring chances here.
You think we'll have a chance maybe to play some games this year with the big club?
Absolutely. I want to make sure we're doing the right things with all the young players. There's not going to be any purpose of rushing them in here. I want to have competition. They know there's going to be spots open for training camp here.
Karlsson talked the other day about the strength part of skating, not just a technical part, and having the commitment to do that. What does it say about a guy? Because a lot of guys, they want to improve their skating, but they don't want to put in the work.
Yeah.
Especially the physical work.
No, I think, as a 22-year-old, you obviously have matured. And his experience of playing pro hockey over in Sweden last year and also getting chances to play with the national team, I definitely think he understands what his strengths and weaknesses are and how to be successful in this league. It's up to us, the coaching staff and the development staff, to help him to understand how to be successful there.
One guy we forget about is Nils Höglander. He had surgery at the end of the season. Have you spoken with him? Where's Nils progressing, and is he going to be ready to go come camp?
He's ready to go when camps open up. He stayed here. I believe it's he went back to Sweden mid-June. He was skating when he left, so there shouldn't be any issues with him at all.
You add pieces today to a group that finished the season pretty strongly. When you project, how much of sort of the hope of improvement for the overall group is based on Petey and Quinn and Brock, some of the young guys taking another step?
I think that's going to be the key. I mean, we need those guys to get to the next level, and they are capable of it. With Quinn and Petey, my understanding, missing the training camp last year set them back a little bit. So I definitely challenge them, and I hope they're going to come back here ready for day one in training camp and just take off.
Are you a believer that what we saw over the final 57 games, after all the house cleaning, is that the real group you're moving forward?
I sure hope so, but I sure hope we have another level. I mean, we need to be ready from day one in training camp and just push it forward here. And by adding some players here now, I think we creating more internal competition.
Patrik, what's the thought process behind adding a guy like Colin, just to build goaltending depth, or do you expect there to be some sort of battle for the backup position in training camp?
Again, you want to have internal competition in all positions in the organization, and when he was available, it gives us as you said, competition about the backup position there, but also a good player, whoever goes down to Abbotsford, to have a good depth guy down there, together with Seeloffs and DePietro there.
So is the plan to run 3 goalies again at Abbotsford?
No, our plan is to have 2 goalies there.
Okay.
So there's going to be a competition down there as well.
Patrik, the way that the landscape is right now, are you of the belief that if a team like yourself has to shed a big contract and salary, you have to add a sweetener in terms of draft picks? And is it something you'd be willing to do?
Up to this point, we're not willing to do that. I don't feel that we want to give up future assets just to get out of a contract.
You've brought up Dakota Joshua a few times, and does that mean you don't see him as an AHL depth? You see him as a player who's going to challenge to be in the NHL lineup?
I definitely see him as an NHL player. I believe that, or group believe that he's capable of doing more and with more opportunity to become a full-time NHL player.
And what about his game leads you to believe that?
Well, as I said, his size, his skating ability, his versatility, they can play center or wing, and he's a hard guy to play against.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.